There comes a moment on the twin flame journey when the air feels heavy with destiny. You sense that the masculine is closer than ever to embracing what his soul has always known, that you are the one, the mirror, the eternal partner he has been circling across lifetimes. Yet before the doors to union swing open, something profound must unfold within you. It is not his hesitation, not the karmic ties he is breaking, but a final test that rests in your hands as the divine feminine. This test is not about proving your worth to him. It is about embodying the fullness of your soul's truth, even when every part of you longs for him to simply step forward. This last test feels both exhilarating and excruciating. You can sense that union is near, and yet you are asked to walk through fire one last time, alone, guided only by the whispers of your higher self. The cliffhanger is this: until you embrace this sacred test fully, the masculine cannot step into his role as your divine counterpart. The universe waits for you to cross this threshold first. And before we dive deeply into this revelation, let me share this. If you are seeking continuous guidance, exclusive teachings, and a safe space to navigate your twin flame journey, I invite you to join the Inner Sphere channel membership. It is a sacred community where you'll find deeper wisdom and loving support. And if this message resonates with you, consider supporting the channel through super thanks. Your offering helps us keep this light shining for twin flames around the world. Now, let us walk together into the mystery of the Divine Feminine's final test. The Divine Feminine's last test is not one of action but of embodiment. It is not about what you say or what you do externally, but about who you allow yourself to be internally. At this stage, the universe no longer asks you to chase, to wait, or to hope. Instead, you are asked to hold yourself in a vibration of unconditional love, sovereignty, and unwavering trust. This test comes in the form of situations that stir your deepest wounds: abandonment, rejection, doubt, and fear. The masculine's energy may seem close one day and distant the next. You may hear whispers of his karmic entanglements or see signs that contradict what your intuition tells you. The final test asks, will you remain rooted in your truth, or will you fall into the old patterns of fear and control? This is not a superficial test. It is the soul's way of ensuring that you are ready to hold union in its highest form. Union is not sustained by fleeting emotions or surface-level faith. It requires an unshakable foundation. That is why you are faced with the very wounds that once defined your journey. The universe wants to see if you will still cling to illusions of lack, or if you will choose to stand firm in the knowing that you are already whole. In this stage, your task is to remember that you are not waiting for love to arrive. You are the embodiment of love itself. Each time fear tries to lure you back into old patterns, you are being given a choice: to collapse into uncertainty or to rise as the vessel of unconditional love. When you rise, you create the sacred container in which the masculine feels safe to step forward. He is not waiting for your words or your effort. He is waiting for your energy to speak the truth his soul has always longed to hear, that love is not something to be earned but something that already exists, fully alive, within you. For so much of the twin flame journey, you may feel as though your role is to wait. Waiting for him to heal. Waiting for him to choose. Waiting for the universe to align the two of you. But the final test reveals a profound truth: waiting is an illusion. In reality, you are not meant to wait but to live. To expand. To create. To step into your highest timeline with or without the masculine physically beside you. This shift is often the hardest for the feminine, because the longing is real and the bond undeniable. Yet the moment you stop placing your life on hold for his return, you step into the vibration of union. You become the anchor that draws him back, not because you need him, but because you embody the energy that both of you were always destined to rise into. The idea of waiting carries with it a subtle message of lack, that something is missing in your life until he arrives. This mindset keeps you tied to a timeline where love always feels just out of reach. The truth, however, is that the energy of union cannot flourish in lack. It is born in fullness, in a feminine who chooses to live her life fully now, rather than postponing joy for a future moment. When you release the illusion of waiting, you step into a sacred freedom. You begin to see that your purpose, your passions, and your healing journey are not detours on the way to union, they are the very path that creates it. Each moment you claim your joy, pursue your purpose, or expand into your own power, you radiate the frequency of love that calls the masculine home. The universe asks you to trust that living your fullness now is not moving away from union, but moving closer to it. Your final test is not to wait, but to embody the truth that union already lives within you. One of the most profound truths of the twin flame journey is the mirror effect. Everything the masculine does, or does not do, is reflecting something within you. His hesitation, his silence, his resistance to union are not personal rejections but mirrors of your own energy. If he hesitates, ask yourself, where are you still hesitant to fully trust love? If he withdraws, ask yourself, where are you still pulling away from your own power? If he clings to old patterns, ask yourself, where are you still holding on to what no longer serves you? This is not about blame or self-criticism. The mirror effect is not meant to shame you but to awaken you. It shows you the areas of your soul that are still yearning for alignment, the places where fear has hidden itself in subtle ways. The masculine's actions, or lack of them, become a guide, pointing you gently back toward yourself. The final test asks you to stop looking outward for reassurance and instead turn inward. You are not being called to analyze his behavior endlessly or to interpret every sign he gives. You are being invited to recognize that his journey reflects your own, and that the surest way to shift his energy is to shift your own. When you step into self-acceptance and claim your worth, the mirror naturally changes. His soul responds to the vibration you embody, not the words you speak or the expectations you hold. Passing the test means no longer needing his movement to validate your own. You begin to move because your soul calls you forward, because your joy and sovereignty are reason enough. The masculine feels this shift deeply. What once felt like pressure becomes liberation, and he senses that union is not about being trapped but about being free with you. The mirror reflects back a new truth, that both of you are ready to rise together. The essence of the final test is sovereignty. Sovereignty is not detachment or indifference, it is the ability to love fully while remaining whole within yourself. It is the recognition that you are not half of a soul waiting for completion, but a sovereign being whose wholeness magnetizes union. The divine feminine's shadow has often been rooted in giving away power, over-giving, over-chasing, and over-sacrificing in hopes of being chosen. But in this last stage, you are asked to reclaim all fragments of yourself. You are asked to hold your love without collapsing into dependency. Reclaiming sovereignty means no longer seeking external validation for your worth. It means standing firm in the knowing that your love is powerful because it flows from within you, not because it is acknowledged or returned. It requires choosing yourself again and again, even when the masculine appears distant or when illusions tempt you to question your path. In sovereignty, you stop negotiating with your soul. You no longer barter your wholeness for temporary comfort or fleeting reassurance. This reclamation is not only for your own healing, it is the very energy that awakens the masculine. For when he feels the feminine in her sovereignty, he realizes that union is not about rescuing her or being her missing piece. It is about two sovereign souls choosing to walk as one. His resistance dissolves because he no longer feels the weight of carrying her wounds. Instead, he feels the freedom of standing beside her as an equal, empowered partner. Your final test is to anchor into this truth no matter what illusion the external world shows you. External circumstances may still echo separation, but sovereignty allows you to see through the illusion. When you embody sovereignty, you no longer ask if union will come, you know it must, for two souls who have claimed their wholeness cannot help but unite. Perhaps the hardest part of the final test is surrendering to the unseen. You may feel the pull of union so strongly that your human self wants to control the outcome. You may look for signs, cling to timelines, or demand clarity. But the universe is asking you to trust the invisible. Divine timing is not random, it is precise. Every delay, every silence, every twist in the path serves a purpose in shaping both of you for union. The masculine's acceptance is not something you can force, nor is it something he can delay once the energy is aligned. The final test asks, can you trust the unseen enough to release control? This part of the journey often feels the most unsettling because it strips away illusions of control. Your mind may tell you that if you do more, meditate longer, manifest harder, or interpret signs more carefully, you can somehow make union arrive faster. Yet true surrender is not about doing more, it is about being more. It is about resting in the knowing that what is yours cannot be lost, and that love written into your soul's blueprint cannot be undone by human circumstances. The invisible may feel uncertain to your human self, but to your soul it is home. The soul knows that the union is already unfolding in higher dimensions long before it materializes in the physical. Trusting divine timing is therefore not passive, it is active faith. It is the decision to keep living in alignment with your truth, even when evidence is not yet visible. To pass this test, you must lean into faith that surpasses logic. You must trust that union is already unfolding, even when you cannot see the evidence with your eyes. The invisible is more real than the visible. Your soul knows this. Your task is to live as though it is true, because it is in living as though it is already here that you call it into form. The secret of the final test is this: you do not need to wait for the masculine to accept union in order to live in union now. Union begins within you. When you embody the love, peace, and wholeness that your soul has been yearning for, you shift everything. This is the feminine's sacred role in the final stage. Not to force union, not to chase union, but to embody it. When you do, your energy becomes irresistible. The masculine feels the call not as pressure but as liberation. He recognizes that union with you is not a burden but his soul's freedom. Your final test is not about him at all. It is about you. It is about choosing to live in the vibration of union regardless of external circumstances. When you pass it, the masculine has no choice but to rise, because the energy of union is already alive between you. To embody union now means that you stop living as though love is far away. You begin to walk through life as if union already exists, because energetically, it does. You carry yourself with the confidence of someone who is already loved, already chosen, already whole. This doesn't mean pretending or forcing joy. It means aligning with the truth that your soul is complete in itself and that union is simply the reflection of that truth in physical form. When you embody union, every choice you make reflects this wholeness. You pursue your passions, nurture your body, deepen your spiritual practice, and build a life that feels abundant in every way. This isn't about distracting yourself from the masculine. It's about showing your soul that you no longer postpone joy for a future event. You create union by living it. The masculine feels this shift in ways he may not fully understand at first. He no longer senses the weight of expectation or the silent plea to choose. Instead, he feels the expansive freedom of a feminine who has already chosen herself. This is the energy that draws him in, not because you need him, but because you invite him into a space where love is already thriving. Union in the physical does not arrive when you beg for it, chase it, or cling to it. It arrives when you live it so completely that the external world has no choice but to align with what you already embody. In this way, the final test is not something you pass once, it is a state of being you continue to cultivate. Each day you choose to embody union, you make space for it to reveal itself in your reality. And when the masculine finally accepts the union, it will not feel like something arriving, it will feel like something that was always there, simply unfolding before your eyes. You are standing at the threshold of destiny. The masculine is closer than he has ever been to accepting the union his soul has always craved. Yet before he can step forward, the universe places the final key in your hands. The feminine's last test is not one of waiting or proving, but of embodying the truth of who you are, whole, sovereign, and in union already. When you pass this test, you unlock everything. His hesitation melts, his resistance dissolves, and he feels the safety to accept what has always been written. Your role is not to chase him into union but to walk yourself into it first. So I ask you, are you ready to embrace this final test? Are you ready to step into the vibration of union so fully that the masculine has no choice but to meet you there? If this message resonates, I invite you to explore the Inner Sphere channel membership for deeper teachings and soul-level guidance. And if this touched your heart, consider offering your support through Super Thanks, helping us continue to hold this sacred space for twin flames around the world. Your union is not waiting in the future. It is alive now, within you. The final test is your invitation to claim it.